You pick up your phone. Just for a second. Not to scroll. Not to waste time. Just to check one story. But before you even realize it, you're 10 stories deep. Then 20. Then you switch to shorts. And somewhere in between those quick, flickering clips, a thought quietly slips in. I need to get back to work. But you don't. Not yet. You watch one more. And then another. And then, strangely, you don't even feel like choosing anymore. You just keep going. You might not notice this, but you didn't lose focus after 10 minutes. You lost it in the moment you said, just one. Because in that moment, your brain made a very small decision to delay. And that tiny delay is far more powerful than it looks. What's actually happening here is, your brain is not struggling with focus. It's struggling with closure. Every time you try to focus, your mind keeps a small door open in the background. What if there's something better I could be doing right now? And that question never fully leaves. So even when you sit down to work, you're not completely there. Part of you is still searching, still comparing, still unsure. And focus requires certainty, even if it's temporary. You see it in small, almost invisible ways. You type a message, then reread it 3 times. You open a task, then suddenly feel like checking something else first. You start watching something, but switch before it even gets interesting. Not because you're bored, but because your brain hasn't committed. You might not notice this, but your brain has been trained to expect constant novelty. Every short video, every story, every swipe. It teaches your mind something. Something better is always one scroll away. And over time, your brain starts applying this rule to everything. Your work, your decisions, even your thoughts. So when you sit with one task, it doesn't feel enough. Not because it isn't, but because your brain is conditioned to keep searching. Study suggests that frequent switching between tasks reduces your brain's ability to sustain attention over time. But here's the part people don't talk about. It's not just reducing your attention. It's reducing your trust in any single choice. So even when you choose something, you don't fully believe in it. And without that belief, your focus slips. There's something deeper happening too. You might not notice this, but indecision feels safer than commitment. Because the moment you fully focus on something, you're also accepting the possibility of failure. If you write that page, it might not be good. If you start that task, you might not finish it well. But if you stay distracted, you never have to find out. And your brain quietly prefers that. So it keeps you in motion. Not forward, but sideways. Scrolling, switching, hovering between options. It feels like activity, but it's actually avoidance in disguise. Let me ask you something. Have you ever noticed how exhausting it feels to not focus? Not physically, but mentally. Like your mind is constantly running, but going nowhere. That's not laziness. That's decision fatigue. Every scroll, every switch, every maybe this instead is a tiny decision. And your brain gets tired. So eventually, it stops trying to choose it all and just follows whatever is easiest. You might not notice this, but your inability to focus isn't one big problem. It's 1,000 tiny moments where you didn't fully choose. Moments so small, you barely remember them. But together, they shape your entire day, your habits, your progress, even how you see yourself. And slowly, a belief forms. I'm just not someone who can focus. But that belief is built on moments that were never fully understood. So maybe this isn't about fixing your focus. Maybe it's about noticing your hesitation. That small pause before you switch. That subtle discomfort before you commit. That quiet voice asking, is this really it? Because in that moment, there's nothing wrong with you. Your brain is doing exactly what it was trained to do. Search, compare, avoid risk, stay open. But here's the quiet shift. What if your lack of focus isn't a weakness? What if it's sensitivity? A mind that sees too many possibilities. A mind that wants to choose carefully. A mind that doesn't settle easily. And maybe that's not something to fight. Maybe it's something to understand, to gently guide, to bring back one moment at a time. So the next time you catch yourself watching one more story, one more short, one more scroll, pause, not to force yourself back, but to notice. What am I avoiding choosing right now? Because focus doesn't begin with discipline. It begins with awareness. And once you start seeing these small moments, something shifts. Not instantly, not dramatically, but quietly. And maybe that's enough for now.